Hey YouTube, how the heck are we all doing? Foul Play here, and we are back for a modern league. I know I said I wouldn't do this, but I think the metagame's in a decent place, so here we are. With this deck list, we're including the likes of Solitude and March as removal. We've got main deck Leyline for protection against discard and sacrifice. It may be better suited to the sideboard, I'm unsure currently. Currently got the 8 hexproof creatures and just the 2 Kor Spiritdancers. Playsets of Armor, Rancor, Hyena Umbra, and Daybreak Coronet, and then 2 elves of Sentinel's Eyes and Spirit Mantle. I'm not in love with cards like Grixus at the moment. If we come up against a Stoneblade deck, we're in trouble from Shadow Spear, but counter complete is also a big issue. Additionally, I'm not sure Grixus good enough against Murktide Regent, so I just want that slightly more powerful evasion. Additionally, against Ragavan decks, Sentinel's Eyes should be pretty good. Shut him down early before he gets lots of advantage going on. Looking over the land base, we've made inclusions of Boseiju, while cutting out a Temple Garden and a Plains. And looking at the sideboard. Alright, so we've got Deafening Silence for Cascade decks, Rest in Peace plus Endure for Graveyard decks, /Mill, /Jund. I think Endurance should be pretty good against Jund. There's been lots of times in the past where I've had been in top deck mode against them, they've been in top deck mode against me, and I've drawn the second Rest in Peace, and it just feels so bad. All of a sudden, a flash creature looks really good in that spot. We got Suppression Field here for Yawgmoth decks, Force for mostly artifact decks, also enchantments. 1 Teeg in for Tron, and the 4th Solitude. Alright, here we are for the first match. We've lost the die roll, and we're gonna look at this nice looking opening hand. It's a little bit aura light, but obviously we're going to keep. We're against Urian decks, so we might actually want to leave this Leyline in hand. I'm going to leave Leyline in hand for Solitude, just off the off chance. Potentially powers down a Ethereal Armor. Okay. Additionally, our opponent does have Urian as a commander, if you missed that. It's just... there shouldn't be anything countering this, but I guess we'll see shortly. He's probably just fetching a Triumph untapped. There we go, so Jeskai Triumph. We're really going to need to pull another aura off the top of the deck. We have pretty poor tempo here. I'm going to want to find Ethereal Armor or Rancor. Okay, so it looks like our opponent's got 4 colors going on here. Oh yikes, another Bogle. That stings a little bit. I think the correct play is to just pressure the life total here. If we draw another land next turn, we could 3 mana March the Wren. I think we want to save it for Teferi though, something like that. Expressive Iteration, sure thing. Alright, so that's pretty good. They blank and hit another Wren and 6 there. Alright, great. We hit a land. At this point, we probably want to cycle Horizon Canopy. We should cycle before we play our line drop. It's missequence. Find more mana. Okay. Let's keep Ren at bay a little bit here. We may actually get to a stage where we're hardcasting Solitude and attacking with it, and that's not the worst thing ever. Maybe it was incorrect to crack that Horizon Canopy. Oh, hello. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and Solitude here. We can't let Omnath go out of control, and we're not going to have the mana to do too much if we wait. Yikes, this is a really awkward spot. Alright, I'm going to attack him with 2 and attack Ren with 1. I don't want him getting Ren Emblem, but I don't think it's worth spending our time to remove it, especially if he has the second one in hand. So I just want to keep it in check a little bit here. Opponent going for Fury. It's not overly impressive, although it does shut down us somewhat hard. We do have the mana if we play Boseiju to then hardcast. No, we're 1 mana short. Okay, well, it's a card. Opponent can trade Fury for 1 Hyena Umbra here, as he has double strike, and we have first strike. Alright, looks like he's going for that. We have the option to destroy a land, but it's not that impressive, as it's replaced by a basic, and well, our opponent's probably got a few basics in his deck. I'm just gonna hold the Boseiju for shenanigans. Alright, perfect. We hit an aura here. Well, my opponent doesn't have double blue, so they can't really have counterspell here. Should be pretty good just to throw down and then get to beats. I think their mana screw might actually be... No, they can't be mana screwed. They've got a Ren in the fetch land. I'm confused. Oh no. Not like this. I guess he just eats up a 1 mana creature and it's not really the end of the world. Yeah, so he's protecting the Ren emblem. Could march our own creature, but I think that's a little bit narrow. I'm gonna play this one now. I think having march for, 4 or 5 mana could be pretty handy. Yikes, so Prismatic Ending will actually exile, not just destroy. Hey look, a spicy Rancor. Just keep these attacks happening. I suppose my opponent's getting Run and 6 emblem. Actually, that's incorrect. I should attack and deny the emblem, because now he can just retrace the Prismatic Ending, which is pretty bad. Alright, that's a misplay. We probably lose, but we're probably losing regardless. So now I can discard land to retrace, and he's shocking in Sacred Foundry. Why would he shock? He's got 4 mana up. What's important at 4 mana? I can't think of too much. He may be looking to instant speed destroy our Hyena Umbra and then block with Ice Fang Quaddle. Could additionally get rid of Teferi. I think we just attack with the Scout and then maybe look to deal with Teferi after combat. Alright, what shenanigans have you got, opponent? Ephemerate? Prismatic Vista. I mean, sure. We still have First Strike, so our creature's A-okay from that one. Oh, this doesn't target... It only targets creatures, doesn't hit Planeswalkers. My bad. I was thinking more on the lines of Prismatic Ending there. These elementals go. I feel like if we had a faster early game, we wouldn't be in this precarious spot. Still, resolving the likes of Spirit Mantle pretty much wins it for us. That's fine. Alright. Let's go for Solitude. Sorry, for March, exiling the Leyline. And then we need to... Okay, how does this work? This... Okay, I don't quite know if I'm casting this right. I'm trying to float mana additionally. Okay, cool. Done. I've overkilled on the mana a little bit there. No, I've done it perfectly. Never mind. Okay, let's... drop the Arbor, attack for a bit. All at our opponent, he's only on 3. Let our armies call. Which creature did he get? Endurance. Okay, that's a bit annoying. He's done it in the attacker step, so he will be able to flash that in as a chumper. Draw engine off of Risen Reef activated. Alright, well, the good news is Spirit Mantle wins it for us. As long as he doesn't retrace Prismatic Ending. And then there's Locust. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we just lose right at the death. Oops, I thought I'd skip the turn. Look at these lovely shenanigans. Opponent gets their second Ren, so they got return a Misty Rainforest. They've now got, as long as they plus Teferi, they've now got instant speed Prismatic Ending, which is pretty bad for us. I think my opponent has successfully stabilized here. I'm going to concede. Alright, so Endurance is looking pretty reasonable here compared to something like Leyline of Sanctity. And is there anything else in our graveyard we'd like? They're mostly creatures, so something like Gaddock Teeg isn't as useful, but I think Solitude looks pretty reasonable. So now we've got 7 elementals in the deck against the elemental deck. Alright, let's go. Hand sucks on mana, so throw. This is looking a bit better. We're going to keep. Have to put a card on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and ditch the Solitude now. We're the furthest away from casting it. The Endurance we can almost hard cast. Opponent mulls to 5. Alright, let's get our scout out there. Pass the turn. Not too shabby at all. It's more mana efficient to Spirit Mantle here, but it's more damage to Rancor. So I'm going to go ahead and Rancor attack. Alright, opponent land pass. So this could be indicative of Baleful Strix. Definitely want to get out this Spirit Mantle. The Sentinel's Eye is going to be a very nice added bonus as well. So unblockable 5 damage. Don't mind if I do. This is the sort of tempo we needed in the first game. Not one Hyena Umbra. Sure. See if we can keep the top decks coming, and we can. Let's go. 7 damage. Alright, so now for our opponent Omnaths. They're still under a lot of pressure. I think they survive with Omnath plus fetch land. Evoking Solitude on your own creature is... Oh, this is to get card draw going. Okay, that's fair play. We do have a line here where if we have to exile our opponent's graveyard... I think I'm ephemorating rats. We need to exile our opponent's graveyard. We can draw with the Canopy, hope to hit a green card, and then hope to evoke. Rats. So now our opponent has blocking as an option. I guess we don't have anything double green, but it just feels right to do it that way. Alright, let's go ahead and attack for 6. Our opponent has 3 toughness. We're choosing to use 2 of it. Oh, we didn't have first strike or anything. That's embarrassing. We did luck out and draw the Bogle though, so... Nothing too horrible there. And we've still got Endurance up. Very nice. I'm so used to having first strike that I did not even realize. Our opponent is clearly had more coffee than me today. Omnath, there he is. Opponent has all the cards at this point, but hopefully that's where it ends. That sucks. Potential that going in on endurance is correct here instead of the scout or the bogle, sorry. That would take a turn extra. If we throw down a Aurora as an attack at 6 damage, it's not lethal. He probably won't block. We don't have any white cards to exile to evoke and remove Omnath, which sucks. And our opponent can block with Omnath, but I think we're okay with that. This is only bad if they have a second Omnath, but removing the first is probably worth it. Okay, he didn't block at all. So, confirm, my opponent does not have second Omnath. Risen Reef, sure thing. It's got that card draw gravy train going right now. Alright, so Sacred Foundry has to come in tapped. Our opponent should probably be attacking with Omnath there. Okay, we draw Rancor. That gives us 8 power. That forces Omnath block. You could be blocking with Omnath anyway. He could just block with the 2 Risen Reefs. Seems unlikely too. He could block with 1 Risen Reef. Alright, let's keep the pressure, keep attacking. Otherwise he blocks with 1 Risen Reef and then potentially stabilizes. This forces the Omnath off the table. Rancor has been an absolute superstar this game, by the way. Its pressure to come back from the grave, absolutely huge. Oh no, our opponent's got Ice Fang? No. Confused all of a sudden again. Elder Army's cool. Evoke a elemental. Okay. Oh no, he did that for the life gain. Full life is really the first trigger. That's so lame. Alright. That one remaining Spirit Mantle to put this game to bed would be lovely right about now. Alternatively, a white card so we can instant speed Solitude a blocker and then push the Rancor damage. Although they will gain life from that. That we need to take into account. Alright. So close to ending. Probably our best card is Ethereal Armor here. Or Daybreak. But Ethereal adds the most power. Goodness, look at that mana. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer. What's he ditching with that one? Omnath Fury? Goodness freaking gracious. Bit of card draw there. Alright. Spirit Mantle's almost a necessity at this point. That's a lot of toughness to try and push damage through. I'm actually quite glad we have... Wait, he reshuffled his own graveyard? Curious. So yeah, this matchup comes down to just Omnath things. Elementals is a very established deck currently. Goodbye to Rancor. We do find the Daybreak. So 7 power is going to be good enough to attack and cause some issues for our opponent. He currently doesn't have Teferi, which is a saving grace. Okay. Thought maybe we were facing Counterspell there. But he was just looking to gain life, unless the Counterspell is off of floating mana. Plus... Force of Negation. Okay. Alright, we pass the turn. There's a lot that this Omnath can do with these Resin Reefs. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Well, maybe they've dried up elementals in hand. It's only 5 cards, question mark. Maybe they're not drawing an extra 3 cards. We can block an elemental token. Problem being is if our opponent has another March, but we're probably dead in that case anyway. Alright, so we're still alive. I like to point out they exiled all 3 Rancors, by the way. Okay, I don't even know what's happening here. I can't interact, I'll just 6 the turn. They could also post-combat Prismatic Ending the Sentinel's Eyes. That would fall off and would die to the damage, which is sitting on our creature. Opponent casts second Omnath, sacking the first, triggers. And here's the Ephemerate on Seasoned Pyromancer, triggers. Solitude, triggers. Alright, and our opponent drained us for damage somehow there. Not sure that it's a Risen Reef trigger, and I didn't see... Didn't have an emblem, did he? No emblem. I don't see like a Fury, but that only hits creatures anyway. So at some point while he's doing these shenanigans, I get drained for damage, and he's drawing more cards in the chat there for some reason. Apparently he didn't see enough of his deck. Okay, on to the next one. Alright, match number 2. Oh, won the die roll. On the play, obviously we need to mulligan. No creature. Yeah, this is barely serviceable. We'll keep. We're against a Kaldra opponent. What does this read? So, Cat Elemental, Nightmare, Dinosaur, Beast card. Each other creature you control. So it's probably an elemental deck. I'm gonna bottom the Bogle here. Opponent had an upkeep stop on his turn as well. Curious. That makes me think some sort of a control deck, so it could be a more controlling elemental deck that just wants the extra creature. It's a good way to win the mirror. Give your elementals 1/1 buff. Bogle is not the gravy we're looking for. Alright, but we do get in for 4. It's good initial pressure. I feel like if we top deck Ethereal Armor, we'll be in a really good spot. If we blank for a few turns, we're probably not going to have enough tempo. Alright, well there's our first blank. We gotta beat our opponent before they get to that critical 4 mana for Omnath. Okay, Raffini's Triome, so that's Esper colors. Any aura that gives me 3 damage. I guess not Daybreak. Literally Ethereal Armor. Okay, we literally draw the Ethereal Armor I was hoping for. Lovely. So you got counter magic or something? I suppose I should play Slippery Bogle first, just in case there's like a Kaya's Guile or something. I'm gonna late missequence this. He's still got his stops set really tight here. His opponent's playing pretty tight. Hopefully I don't give him... Yeah, there's a fucking Kaya's Guile. Oh god, I'm over this. Fuck that card, man. Alright, well, Leyline of Sanctity is useless against Kaya's Guile, so that sort of blows. Gaddock Teeg against this sort of deck is probably reasonable. We could look to choke mana with Suppression Field. Interacting with Graveyard might be important. Yeah, so like my missequencing there cost us the game. Honestly, I don't really expect to see Kaya's Guile at the moment, but that's maybe me being just far too removed from Modern. I don't know how useful March is going to be either. Let's bring in some Suppression Fields, try to screw our opponent. Deafening Silence could be good too if they're like a Bring to Light deck. Let's hope they don't have Thoughtseize. It'd be pretty greedy to have Thoughtseize as well. Okay, this looks like a capable hand to me. Not the fastest, but definitely keepable. Our opponent has mulligan to 6. I mean, we probably do need speed against this opponent. There's an option to start with Canopy to maybe... Yeah, if we draw another land, maybe getting our opponent off of their black or white mana could be pretty useful. As long as they're not playing that basic land. Does it enter tapped or not? No. We draw a Scout. Look, after last game, let's play this Scout. Get in for 2 very lazy damage. Opponent has Counterspell mana up. Let's force the Daybreak Coronet. That will bait a Counterspell if they have it, and then Gaddock Teeg will be free to resolve hopefully next turn. There's the Counterspell. And if we resolve Gaddock Teeg next turn... oh, opponent missed land drop. Alright, so they've got some action in hand, is what I'm hearing. So the idea of just sideboard in all our creatures, it's probably not good enough to get us there. It's probably our opponent whiffing, but yeah, let's go. So you got another Counterspell. Okay. The play's probably end of my opponent's turn endurance then. Hall of the Giants costs 6 to activate. I do like the idea of getting out Suppression Field here and taxing our opponent's mana, so I will try to do that. Has he got the third one? Alright, no, we resolve. Cool. Uh-oh. Sudden Edict. Target player sacks a creature. Alright, so maybe the Leylines did have purpose. Cool. Opponent does have Kaya's Guile mana up too. Alright, whatever, man. At least it doesn't make me click anymore. It used to make me click and it infuriated me. Chalice on 1. You got it, buddy. Throw down this Endurance. Opponent's graveyard can go away. Alright, so basically playing this Suppression Field means we're never cracking Horizon Canopy again, but it also shuts off our opponent's fetch lands, and hopefully that's enough to see us through. While Endurance does the heavy lifting. Drawing Boseiju and removing Chalice would be kind of nice, although it would potentially open up for our opponent to get one step closer to Bring to Light. Has he got Fatal Push or something? I mean, like, Fatal Push doesn't do it. It has to be Path or, like, Evoke an Elemental. Wow. Imagine keeping in Solitude against a Bogles deck. Maybe it's just one of his ways of finishing, but I'm sure he has something better post-board. That's just... Maybe it's for Kor Spiritdancer. Teferi. Yeah, good luck activating that one, buddy. Still, the static effect is... oh, come on, mate. You gotta pay the tax. Oh, God. Not like this. Alright, I might pause, and if something interesting happens, I'll unpause. Alright, we draw Windswept Heath. We pass the turn. We can pay 4 mana to crack our Windswept Heath. And maybe get Dryad Arbor. It's probably not good enough, but it's an idea. Alright, opponent skipped to his own end step. So we will go ahead and crack Windswept Heath because it does open up us cracking Horizon Canopy. We've got more mana than the control deck, by the way. I sort of feel like if we get Dryad Arbor, it's just going to die. We don't have any auras in hand to pressure either, so I'm just going to get Temple Garden here. More mana, let's go. Opponent hits 4th mana source. No, we're 1 mana off of cracking that. Never mind. I can count, I swear. Hyena Umbra, no go. Alright, end of our opponent's turn. We will sack a Horizon Canopy. We get Kor, but Kor on our own is not super impressive. I feel like we need to deal with Chalice first. This is going to be a slow, boring one. So end of our turn, our opponent plays the Wandering Emperor. And didn't activate it in my end step. That was weird. Here we see Prismatic Ending taking away 1 Suppression Field. Oh, yeah, right. He can't activate it because, yeah, no, I'm... I'm grieving. Don't mind me. We'll sack our Horizon Canopy here. Ethereal Armor. Alright. Alright. At this point, I feel like we sort of have to try and draw to an answer for Chalice, so... Also, our opponent could have negged Teferi, paying the tax for that Suppression Field, bouncing Suppression Field to hand, drawing a card, and then activating the Wanderer. Cool. I'm sure our board state is not surviving. This kills creatures, right? Exile a tapped creature. So... Alright, so this time our opponent bounces the Suppression Field. There's a Vigilance token. There's the attacks. Post-combat, he plays a Colonnade. We draw Sentinel's Eyes. Okay, that's a really good one. Because we can reoccur this through Chalice. What is my graveyard doing? Stop it. Come on, man. Why is it bouncing all over the place, dude? No. What a clunky online interface we've got here. I cannot cast that. Okay. Can't really attack either, so just pass the turn. Alright, well that's a lot of whiffing from us. Opponent buffs the Samurai, attacks. No blocks. Is Kor still surviving? I should not jinx that like that. We can potentially win. Okay. Let's get this card draw happening. I don't think that if our opponent had an answer for Kor that they'd be letting this card draw engine with Sentinel's Eyes continue. This is crazy. Still no Spirit Mantle and still no Boseiju. Spirit Mantle, okay. We'll see if we actually get to attack here. Supreme Verdict. Okay. Hey look, more card draw. More pointless cards we can't cast. This is crazy. Is that 22 cards in hand? No, that's 22 in library. It's 13 in hand. Still. Suppression Field's out. Done its worth here. Okay. We should have kept Ethereal Armor instead of Hyena Umbra. It's very clunky doing it on that little bar. We probably still lose regardless. Hey, look. It's a fat creature. Okay, concede. Alright, back for number 3. Let's hope we do a little bit better. So far our starting hand's no good, and we've lost the dial. Opponent also mulligans to 6. This is looking pretty good. I'll keep. Alright, so we'll go ahead and keep bottom the Scout. Leyline in play. And hopefully we draw a mana so we can turn to double Ethereal Armor. Mishra's Bobble. Alright, so it looks like our decision to keep Leyline of Sanctity was pretty good. Ragavan deck here. Okay. Opponent's Bobble can only target themselves. Sentinel's Eyes? Oh yeah, baby. Let's go. Alright, white mana next turn. Any white mana source and we should be in business here. Opponent getting 1 card off Ragavan is not the end of the world. Razorverge Thicket entering the exile zone. So opponent stealing our white mana away. Not like this. What? Conveys, draw a card, discard a card. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Right. Okay. I'm unsure what to think about that thing. Here, I'm gonna not attack and then look to just block out the Ragavan for 1 turn until we get Sentinel's Eyes down. Then we can let loose a little. If I didn't have Sentinel's Eyes in hand, I probably wouldn't be doing this, but because I know I've got it, it opens up this line, and that way we can stop their treasure generation too. Shadow. Surely Death Shadow is just not in the best place at the moment. Unholy Heat on his own creature. To buff his own creature. Okay. Hey look, a Daybreak Coronet. Let's throw that one down. We can always march the Shadow. Maybe I should have marched the Shadow and then attacked. I guess I can march pitch Sentinel's Eyes. I can do that instant speed though. Okay, let's attack, see what our opponent does. I feel like end step's the best step to do that, because then maybe he plays out like a second one or something and we have more information. As it is, I'm not that concerned because we have auras that we can grow bigger than the Death Shadow with in hand. Okay. Alright, let's attack for a button. Chumps with the Ragavan. It's incredible how hard these decks fall down when Ragavan's no longer able to do his thing. Opponent concedes. Let's go. So against a Shadow deck, an extra Solitude wouldn't go astray. I'm not seeing anything currently that makes me think I want Endurance. So bring in one Solitude. And seems we're on the play. I might take out one Boseiju. Sorry, since we're on the draw, pardon me. Okay, this hand's not good enough. Goodness. Alright, we can get torn apart by Thoughtseize here. No Thoughtseize, starting on Steam Vents. Cool. We get our Hexproof creature out. I'll take that. Feel slightly worse about bottoming the Daybreak Coronet, but I feel like this was the best combination of cards that we could have kept. Alright, we find Daybreak. Now we're just looking for a second white mana source. Alright, Ragavan. What did we get? Horizon Canopy. Unless he's got Thoughtseize here, I don't think going the Watery Grave is better than Horizon Canopy. How much do I want to play around an Edict effect? I guess we can just discard Sentinel's Eyes. Mostly for free. Alright. I'll hold up Chump Blocker. We break on land again, which sort of sucks, but next turn, nice Daybreak coming, hopefully. We'll go a Rancor here. We'll protect that from discard by playing it now. And Hyena Umbra could come in handy later on top of Kor Spiritdancer. Giving that totem armor. Yeah. I think at this point, we're big enough we can try to race. If our opponent resolves a shadow, we can march the shadow. What card did... Oh, there it is. There's this tiny scout. Alright, opponent takes away a scout from us. I'm okay with that. Speaking of shadow... Goodness. Mana? Hey, let's go. It's inadvisable to attack here. We're Ethereal Armor or Rancor away from attacking with lethal. And we can instant speed march to remove a blocker and trample extra damage. Sure, I'll dangle a Kor Spiritdancer. If it lives, the upside's really high. It probably just gets fatal pushed, and it's probably correct just to hold it until we draw mana, and we can mana plus aura. But I think at this board state, it's worth dangling. Unholy Heap, yeah. Hey, Sentinel's Eyes fodder though. I'll take that. Explosives on 1. Much. He doesn't have mana to... We can kill this. Canopy. Okay. Wait. That is CMC of 0. What? Cool. Clunky stuff. So close to just pushing damage past these death shadows. But not quite there yet. I suppose if we play Hyena Umbra, it makes it easier to cycle Canopy and hit Aura next turn, so we probably should have played Canopy. Played Hyena Umbra. March. Okay, that's not the worst thing ever. Alright, so end step, I'll just cycle Canopy here. Cool. Oh, opponent cracking land. Here comes the action. Alright, something we need to respond to. Liliana of the Val, are you fucking kidding me? If I knew he had that in the deck, I would have played a bit quicker. Okay, that's fine. So, Liliana plus Engineered Explosives. Boseiju's not too bad. I kind of like Suppression Field a little bit more. What would we take out though? I mean, Kor Spiritdancer is kind of sketchy with only 4 totem armors. So we could take out 2 Spirit Dancers. Maybe we just bring in 1 Suppression Field. We'll submit that one, get going. Alright, well, this is a keep. Could do with an extra mana or a ley line, but overall this is above average. Ragavan. Land so we can block Ragavan. Hey, land. Cool. Fuck this. Let's try and screw our opponent off mana. I am going for the dirty play. We can exile Ragavan here with Spirit Mantle, but I think we want Spirit Mantle, and additionally that card's probably better against Death Shadow, so it can chain machine gun down multiple shadows. What did he get with Ragavan then? This stage it's probably discard Solitude. Ethereal Armor. Okay, let's get aggressive here before something bad happens. We've got Spirit Mantle, so we don't have to be worried about Death Shadows blocking us out. Opponent finds a Bogle. You can take that away from the top of my library. I'm okay with that. I mean, I guess a card like Liliana would be problematic, so Bogle does have some play for us. We've lost our Solitude now, so navigating Shadow at this point, when we don't have quite enough damage, could be precarious. You can't go ahead cracking that Bloodstained Mire without paying the tax, opponent. Okay, what does this do? I'm not that scared of that card. It also can't activate without paying suppression tax. Alright, so it's a decent draw. That gives us enough damage to force the block here. Oh shit, what am I doing? Okay, I have to be really careful how I assign damage here. Because dealing damage over the top will simultaneously grow the shadow. So it's really important here that you assign extra damage to the death shadow. So if we're doing 11 in total, we deal 7 to the shadow. That means 4 tramples. It grows by 4. So that should do. Cool. Next turn, Spirit Mantle for the win. Opponent trying to activate this, and then realizing Suppression Field mucks with it. Alright, so our opponent went ahead and conceded that one. Alright, with our first win on the board, we move to match number 4. We lost the Dyro. We're going to go ahead and keep this one though. Pretty spicy looking. Seachrome Coast is spirits. Okay, it's an Urza deck. We need to hit a land which is not Dryad Arbor. Chalice on 1. That didn't take long. March. We'll take a March at the moment. It's not a March. I imagine my opponent's answers for Kor Spiritdancer are not that significant. So we'll just throw it down into the firing line. Other option was Dryad Arbor and play Kor next turn. Prismatic Ending, let's go. Answers potentially few and far between, but they're coming up hot. Don't worry, we're pecking in for that 1 point of damage. We got like 2 Spirit Mantles that we can play. We've also got 3 March that can interact with this Chalice. Spellskite as well? Are you kidding me, man? What the fuck are we versing? Like, anti-Bogle deck? Goodness. Sack the Canopy. 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. Alright, we find March, but we have to battle our way through 2 Spellskites now, which is an issue. We can deal with 1 Spellskite using the Solitude, and then we're going to need some help, probably. Khan. Flippin' hell. The opponent just changed the target just for the sake of it? Okay. I guess he's trying to protect Khan there. I'm going to go ahead and concede before I show any more of my deck to my opponent. Whatever we're versing, it's very, very unfortunate matchup here. So I like cards like Gaddock Teeg, Suppression Field, and Force of Vigor here. Leyline is obviously not very useful, and Solitude is also not very useful. We'll submit that and get into it. Keep. There was also a case of being on the draw slowed us down significantly. I know our Hound wasn't the best, and our only auras were 2 Daybreak Coronets, and then it was Solitude, Kor, only green mana, and then a green white mana, but yeah, it still feels a little bit rough there. Anyway, moving on to this second match. We have got a really, really strong 7 that we've started off with. And we're dealing a bit of damage to ourselves, but we're getting the beats on. In for 5. See if our opponent has any colors that are outside of blue-white. Okay. Plains, Island, Swamp. So it is Esper colors here. It's not what I want to hear. Anytime I see Esper, I think that our opponent could potentially have like a Kaya's Guile or other edict effects. Our opponent can try to redirect the Spellskite there, but because Spellskite's not a legal target, he'd just take 2 damage for nothing, so our opponent correctly does not interact. Alright, so we get him to 5. What has he got going this turn? Is it a concession? No. Prismatic Ending. Here we go. Alright, we'll attack, we'll force the block, and then we'll start putting down Kor Spiritdancer and drawing some stuff. Opponent can regen, actually. Okay, so we regen shields. Alright. End step, I'm going to cycle a Canopy. Alright, Mono Spellskite Tribal. Spirit Mantle, okay. Alright, regen shields down. So basically, yeah, you need Daybreak or you need like Cartouche of Solidarity to play into Spellskite. Fortunately, we already had an Aura Presence. Okay, opponent correctly strips away the remainder of our auras there. And we are like just drawing fucking dead at the moment. It's probably risky putting out Kor, but off the back of him using like 2 prismatic endings in 3 turns, I would hope the coast is clear. Thank you. Now that is something I want to see. That's really, really good. Reality chip. Okay. Planes. I mean, there's still no point else attacking. I think if we get like a second Kor Spiritdancer, it might be worth throwing down some auras to try and deal with Spellskites. But at the moment, on the back of 1, it seems a bit sketchy to me, and like our opponent's just going to turn around and start beating our faces. So this is such a shame. We've got him all the way down to 4 and he's stabilized just in time. Urza Saga. Okay, now there's some pressing stuff that needs answering. Urza, holy smokes. Additionally, to get around Spellskite, if there's a Grixus boon in the graveyard, the activated ability doesn't target, so that can be pretty handy. Alright, let's see. Hey, let's go. What do you mean? Why can't I cast March? Oh, because it's Gaddock Teeg is going to interrupt it. Gotcha. Well, that's not a good synergy. We might need to throw away our own Gaddock Teeg so we can cast March. Alright, our opponent surely has to know what's up. We're like super creature flooded, by the way. Alright, fair play. He knows something's up. I don't like being in this position with Urza going off. Like, we're so close to just, like, tempoing him out, but those prismatic endings were clutch. Reconfigure. Sure. Third Spells Guide. Thank you. Only cost 1 because we control Gaddock Teeg. That's pretty nice. Opponent redirects to Spell Guide. He could redirect to one of his ones with Totem Armor and then actually interrupt the everything. Alright, let's try attacking. It's not bad as a saga. 3 constructs, still goes, fetches Shadow Spear. Like, Shadow Spear is not that impressive at this board state because we're not exactly all in on a Hexproofer. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate to come up against Urza like this. I don't feel like it's that highly played deck. I think more what you're going to verse is Ragavan Murktide. These are some chunky golem tokens. I'll take 19, sure. Still drawing dead. Holy smokes. Alright, we can ditch our own Gaddock Teeg here, which can get us one step closer to dealing with Spell Scouts. And then if we top deck another March, we're okay. But it has to be March, it can't be Boseiju. And if we march during our opponent's combat step... Are you kidding me, man? Jesus Christ. There's the 4th Spell Scout in 27 cards. Alright, end step. Thin the deck. Arbor. We'll cast March now. Deal with Spell Scout. I guess we should Shadow Spear and let them redirect. Okay, they're redirecting to this one anyway. Cool, concede. Alright, unlucky. Was really close to getting there. Alright, match 5, lost the die roll. Mulligan. Versing Lopi this time. Lopi also mulligan to 6. We'll keep this one. Alright, opponent keeps, we are keeping. I did a quick search then because I'm sick of losing, and it looks like my opponent has played hardened scales previously, so I'm just going to assume he's on hardened scales. Play into the Thoughtseize. Mountain, so not hardened scales. Alright. Throw down. And pass. No lightning bolt either, so not burn presumably. Some sort of storm deck. Blood Moon, okay. Well, we do have the basic. We can also draw Boseiju as an answer to Blood Moon. And I think we can also use March. Holy crickets. I feel like by the time we get post-board, we have relatively good answers to a Red Moon style deck. Alright, we're in a position where we can't attack. So yeah, I'll go through at the end a little deck tech. I think there's some changes we can make to improve the deck as well. I don't think Leyline's very well placed in the main deck, and I think the lack of auras is affecting our tempo. Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, still not technically dead, but our clock is running thin for drawing Boseiju. Alright, take some chunky damage. We're at 7, so this turn is pretty much our last turn to draw it. It might even already be too late. Alright, GG. Straight away we'll take these ley lines out. I'll bring in our Force of Vigors. So that gives us, what, 8 answers to artifact and enchantments. 3, 6, and the 2 Boseijus, 8. It's not too bad. Gaddock Teeg can stop the Blood Moon as well. No, it can't. It can stop Chalice, which is reasonable, I think. Do I want Solitudes here? Endurance, probably not. We can Deafening Silence to disrupt their ritual into turn 2 Blood Moon, but I feel like that's just the cheese of the deck, and I'm not sure we want to take a turn off to do that, and then it affects us for the remainder of the game. I think Gaddock Teeg shutting off Chalice and Explosives and cards like that is probably okay. And after we take out Leyline, we need to bring something in anyway. You know what? I think this is reasonable. It's weak to burn spells that target our creatures, but I don't know how many of those our opponent has. We have access to both our basic lands, and we've got Boseiju here as well. So I think without Totem Armor, it's maybe a little bit sketchy, but the land is so tempting for me. And we have answer to Chalice. But it starts with Gemstone Caverns there. Did our opponent have that companion last game? I'm unsure. Is this a turn 1 Blood Moon? Is that what we're about to have happen here? Lol. Wow. Is this... this is kind of amusing. Alright, get out there, Tiggy. You got this, boy. Alright, we need to dodge Fury, so getting Spirit Mantle down could be important. Razorverge Thicket, sure. White 1. Throw down. Attack. Cool. I think we're out of the woods. Hey, look, an answer to Blood Moon. Or a secondary answer to Blood Moon. Alright, let's double down. Don't mind if I do. Oh, our Boseiju only costs 1 to cast here. Alright, let's get rid of that one. And then we can Daybreak and win. Let's go. Let's go. It's in the cards, people. Alright, we'll run it back. Okay, so this hand we have 1 basic. It's slow with the Spirit Dancers, and against Moon it's not the best. Opponent keeps a 7. I think we're going to mulligan for something better. Here we have access to our mana and not much more. I feel like this is worse than the first hand. Alright, we'll keep this one. Even though it's got 0 creatures. Okay. We do have a decent creature count in our deck at the moment. It's not completely troll, but if our opponent has like an aggressive creature hand, obviously there can be issues. Turn 2, Blood Moon. Oh, it's a Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay, I was going to say 3 games in a row is a bit obnoxious if he's hit it. I'm going to leave this uncracked. Oh. Don't mind that. Alright, let's get our basic. Hopefully he doesn't have removal for it. Alright, let's get out there. Attack for 4. I'm not sure why my opponent kept this hand. It doesn't seem very good. Rather confused at the minute. Alright, let's attack. So in response, we'll march this Seasoned Pyromancer, I think. Oh wait, we can't march. Oh fuck, I forgot. Oh no. Don't judge me. Okay. Yeah, I just assumed we could march then, but obviously that is incorrect. Alright, few elemental tokens. Well, doing it in combat for maximum value, and then, yeah, no. Oops-a-daisy. Alright, like any enchantment, please. Okay, that's something. He didn't have any burn spells for my Gaddock Teeg, so I kind of feel like resetting Rancor onto Kor Spiritdancer is not too bad. See what our opponent does here. Alright. I'm gonna take the Gambit here. The Bogle Gambit. And we're just gonna go do some things. Draw some cards, get a giant ass creature. Another Spirit Dancer, not too bad. Wait, when did Chalice go to my opponent's graveyard? Did I? I'm confused as to how Chalice got in the graveyard there. I'm going to go ahead and play Boseiju so I can Spirit Dancer plus Spirit Mantle. Alright, this should be pretty locked up at this point. Pyromancer, I mean, it can't block anything. He'd need explosives and to cast explosives and... Whoa, Emrakul? I mean, we know he has Lucas, so that makes sense, kind of. Opponent concedes. Alright, so we end up with the 2-3. Not too shabby. Alright, so as far as changes I'd make to the deck, I'd definitely be looking at moving the Leylines to the sideboard. As I've sort of done there. That frees up 4 slots for other spells in the main deck. I still kind of like the idea of having Solitude and March in the main deck. I feel like maybe having a third Kor Spiritdancer in there to help with that card draw later on could be an idea. Other spells I'd look at is a third Sentinel's Eyes or a third Spirit Mantle. Additionally, I like the idea of Cartouche because it actually gives us the tempo against Ragavan while providing us with a chump blocker, which is kind of appealing to me. Especially on those 1 mana hands. So I feel like it's kind of your choice what you go for. I think I'd look at maybe 3 Sentinel's Eyes, 2 Cartouche. Maybe 2 Sentinel's Eyes, 2 Cartouche, 3 Spirit Mantle. Something like that. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not in love with flying at the moment. Just because Murktide's probably bigger, so you want probably better evasion in Spirit Mantle. And additionally, like Caldra Complete in Stoneblade is an issue, so flying's a lot weaker in my opinion currently. Looking across to the sideboard at the moment, we probably want to trim at least 1 Deafening Silence there. I'm not sure how much we want the Gaddock Teeg, like it sort of came in handy. We could like trim on Suppression Field. Maybe trim on Solitude, like 3's probably enough. And then 1 Endurance, so there's 3 Graveyard Hate, 3 Artifact Enchantment Hate, a couple of flex cards in Silence, Suppression Field, and then like Gaddock Teeg Leyline. So I think a list like that is probably something worthwhile looking at sleeving up. So that's it from me today, guys. I will be looking at doing a Bant video, and I think I'll try and apply some of the some of what I learnt here today to my deck list for that. Additionally, there'll be a Pioneer video coming out, although it's sort of slightly outdated because I had to edit a little bit. So yeah, have a wonderful day. Anyone that's doing those 5k tournaments, let me know how you go. Good luck, and yeah, we'll see you all next time. Take it easy.